Hey guys, my name is Stephanie Brown and you're watching Creative Guzzle. Did you guys know that I'm learning Japanese? I know I mentioned it in my last Idea Cloud video, but yes, I'm learning Japanese. And I've also been picking up little pieces of Korean here and there, probably from all the K-pop and K-dramas that I've been consuming. I actually want to learn Korean after Japanese, and I hear it's easier to pick up if you already know Japanese because the grammar is similar. By the way, did you know that Yoda's speech patterns in Star Wars was based on Japanese grammar? The more you know! Tonight's drink is just sake. Hey guys, I have a lot of alcohol in my apartment right now because I don't actually drink all that often outside of these videos. And when I do, it's usually just apple ale or wine or sake or sometimes beer. So I have all this booze that's just sitting around here collecting dust and I don't want to buy anymore. Booze is expensive. So if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to be keeping the drinks simple for a while or just mixing something from what I've already got. Kanpai! So tonight I want to talk about fictional languages. Of course, the father of all languages is Mr. J.R.R. Tolkien himself, who actually wrote the Lord of the Rings books because he made up an Elvish language, Quenya, and wanted to use it in something. Thus, one of the most epic fantasy tales ever written was born, at least in movie form. I've tried reading the books a few times, but I keep getting bored. Gomenasai, Tolkien-senpai! I remember years ago when I was doing research on Tolkien's Elvish languages in lieu of trying to make up one of my own, I came across an interesting little nugget of information. Tolkien believed that one of the most beautiful phrases in existence was the words cellar door. I know it sounds a little weird, but if you remove the actual definition of the words and just listen to it, it is quite a lovely string of sounds. Cellar door, cellar door, cellar door, cellar door. This, my friend, is a pint. It's not really a pint. Tolkien kind of paved the road for fictional languages. Being a linguist, that makes sense, but there have been so many writers since him that have made up at least partial languages for their own stories. I even tried when I was younger, but we'll come back to that. Did you know that there are people out there whose job is just to make up fictional languages all day for movies and TV shows and such? How cool is that? I wish I could do that, but I'm not a linguist. However, I will probably have to utilize those people's linguistic skills in the future for my own movies when they start getting produced. Of course, these people are the ones who created Klingon, the Na'vi language, Dothraki, and many other languages, many of which you can actually learn how to speak. I'm actually kind of tempted to add Quenya or Sindar into my list of languages I want to learn. Not that I could ever use it, but that'd be cool. Of course, one of my favorite made-up languages, aside from Elvish, is the Divine language from the Fifth Element, which, funny enough, initially was only comprised of 400 words for the movie, but because of the fans, it's now almost a complete language. Bom Teketika Onkan. So as I mentioned a long time ago, I too once tried to make up a language for my epic fantasy series, Legend of the Orbs. Got sort of far, not super far. I made an alphabet and some rules. I was very serious about this. I didn't get that far. As I said, I'm not a linguist. But during that time, I did pick up some tips you can keep in mind if you want to try your hand at making a fictional language. The very first thing that you need to do is define your alphabet. Now this could very simply just follow along the English alphabet, or you could try to get a little more complicated and base it off of another existing alphabet. If you're really daring, you could try to base it off of Japanese. Good luck with that. But you need to identify what your vowels sound like, or your consonants sound like. Believe it or not, your consonants can actually sound dramatically different. After you've defined your alphabet, then it's time to get to your grammar. This is way more complicated, and again, I would suggest mimicking the rules of a real language rather than trying to concoct your own grammar. Then when you start making up sentences and words, you can stay consistent because you have defined your alphabet and your grammar rules, and it won't sound like you just jumbled a bunch of sounds together and called it a language. So what are some of your favorite fictional languages? Let me know in the comments down below. I already told you mine, the Divine language. And if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, share it around with your friends. You can also check out more videos by clicking over here. And don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all future videos, Creative Guzzle or Idea Cloud. お互いにすぐれとどまります。